Good morning from day 59 of my 2024 AT journey. It is about 6:45. I left camp about 10 minutes ago. Getting an early start today because Sparkles and I are thinking about doing 19.5 miles to, I think it's called Little Rock Pond, something like that. And so I wanted to get an early start. She's packing up right behind me. She'll be meeting me down at this farm stand that's in like 3 miles. She did come in last night. She just got a little bit later start from Copa Keys than she was anticipating, which is what I thought might have happened. I spent my evening chatting with a northbound long trail hiker named Tim. This was his first long distance backpacking trip, the long trail, so he was just picking my brain about some things. But yeah, got to bed kind of late. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock, something like that. But I slept pretty good, so that was great. I'm currently, so don't tell anybody, you purists out there, I'm currently taking a road walk down from Governor Clement Shelter. It's like 0.8 till I hook back up with the trail. The reason being I wanted to skip having to ford this stream this morning. If you take the trail, you end up having to ford the stream, but if you just take this like dirt county road, you skip fording the stream, supposedly. So all you purists out there are probably gonna give me crap for it, but I'm not a purist, so I'm totally fine doing this. But I'm gonna check my map to see where I'm at because I've got some buildings and cabins now and I want to make sure that I'm going the right way. Alright, so I'm about a quarter mile or so from this road where I can access this farm stand, and it's supposed to be like a 5-minute walk. I've gone just under 3 miles currently for the day. I had to ford a stream. I have to take my shoes off for this one just because we're planning such a long day today of hiking, 19.5 miles, and I didn't want my feet to be in wet shoes for that long. I don't mind wet shoes if it's gonna be like, you know, I'm getting to camp mid-afternoon or something, but if I'm not gonna be getting to camp until dinner time or later, I don't want my feet to be in wet shoes and socks for that long. So I took my shoes off. I think that we probably have one more ford closer down to Clarendon Shelter, which I'll assess when I get there, hoping that it can be rock hopped. But I'll check in at the farm stand and show you what they've got. They're supposed to have really good like maple cold brew coffee, some fruit, ice cream, which, hey, I'm not opposed to ice cream for breakfast. They've got stroop waffles and maybe sourdough bread. So lots of goodies, and I will for sure show you. Alright, so this is Stone's Throw Farmstead. And the farm stand appears to be somewhere over here. Alright, so I left Stone's Throw Farmstead just a little bit ago. It was an adorable place. I could have easily just gotten like vortex there all day. So hiker friendly. They have a hiker hangout area out behind their barn with like a nice big picnic table. It's covered with sunshade. There's charging. There's Wi-Fi. They've got water inside the farm stand. And then they let the farm animals out, which you saw. They've got sheep and alpacas, and they got let out to graze. And I could have just like sat there all day watching them and listening to them. If you know me, you know that I want to adopt all of the farm animals, but I don't want the work of a farm. I just want the animals. Which is why I very seriously, for a brief moment in time, considered doing the work for stay at this farmstead. They offer a work for stay. The only caveat is it's a 3-day minimum. So you're looking at 30 days from trail. But you get to stay there on the farmstead for 3 days with the farm animals. And I very seriously considered it for a brief period of time. But here I am on trail instead. But they had all sorts of stuff inside the farm stand. Sorry I didn't show it inside, but they had fresh veggies, they had apples, they had a bunch of cheese curds, salami, they had the chocolate milk, coffee, they had fresh sourdough bread, which I unfortunately didn't see the first time I went in the stand. I don't know if maybe it wasn't there and they put it out between when I went in the first time versus the second time. They had a bunch of like Vermont beef sticks. They had those, I don't know what the brand is. Maybe it's Untapped, like stroopwafel. They're from Vermont, made with Vermont maple. They had those and some other bars and just like lots of cute stuff. So yeah, I had an ice cream sandwich for breakfast, some chocolate milk and a coffee. But super cute. Could have stayed there a while. I did sit there for a while waiting for Sparkles to show up because we were supposed to meet there. But it was like 9 o'clock and she hadn't gotten there yet, so I didn't want to lose too much time since it is such a big day today and I don't like getting to camp late, so I decided to head out. So I'm not sure how far back she is still, but hopefully we're still able to make it to the same campsite tonight. Okay, see ya. Well, all that work to keep my shoes and feet dry earlier are for nothing. I just slipped and fell right into a giant mud puddle. I also slipped and fell in mud, but I almost went down completely, but I just landed on my knee and hands. I guess when in Vermont, embrace the mud. Alright, so I'm crossing this cool suspension bridge. It's in memory of, I don't know if you can read that, Bob Brugman, lost at this site while hiking the trail he loved, Clarendon Gorge Bridge. Interesting. I also just had trail magic, which was super exciting. Oh, this bridge shakes. Oh God. It's super cool down here though. Look at this. Try not to drop my phone. right. Yeah, so I just had Trail Magic. There was a couple set up at Route 103 that, like, they literally had just got set up. I think it was perfect timing. They had, oh, the trail's over here, Alicia. They had hot dogs that they were grilling. They had LaCroix. They had some bananas. I think they had cookies too, but I had a hot dog and a LaCroix. And that was a nice surprise. So far I haven't eaten any of my trail food or snacks today between the farm stand and that Trail Magic. But now I think I have a pretty good sized climb up and out of this gorge. I haven't looked it far out to see just how far it is, but I think it was, if I'm remembering right, like over 1,000 feet. So I'm gonna go slow and steady. Okay, bye. I want to be hiking fast downhill, but I learned a little bit ago that I can't when it's muddy like this, because I will slip and I will fall in the mud. So, trying to keep my speed up where I can, because the downhill is where I make up time for being slow uphill. And I need to be able to move quick downhill as much as I can to actually pull off 19 and a half miles today. Which might actually be more than 19 and a half, because I remember my one family member Braveheart's blog on the trek for this stretch, and I saw some far out comments about how the mileage is off. So it might be longer than 19 and a half. It's gonna be a fun surprise. Could be a late night. Alright, an update. I'm about half a mile down to Route 140 and 7 miles from camp. I think today's gonna be my first 20-mile day. I've done 3,000 feet of climbing today, 3,500 feet of loss, and I believe I have about 1,600, 1,700 more feet to climb. Most of that is coming up immediately after I cross this road in about a half mile. Over the course of like 2 miles. Let's see, what time is it? It's 2 o'clock. And like I said, I've got 7 miles left. So if I'm able to maintain a 2 mile per hour pace, let's add some breaks in there. Let's say 4 hours. I should be to camp by 6, which is acceptable. Pretty acceptable for a 20-mile day with this much elevation. So I'll be happy with that. I plan to sleep in the shelter tonight as long as there's room. It is supposed to rain a little bit. So, and it looks like a super nice shelter. So, I shouldn't have to set up much. It is a Sunday, so hopefully there's not a lot of people there. I don't know how many people the shelter sleeps offhand, but worst case, throw out my tent. Alright, so I've made it to the shelter. The whole time getting here, I was worried that the shelter was going to be full, and I just spoke with the caretaker and he said it's empty. He said I should have been worried if I was coming in yesterday because there was 26 people here. But it looks like there's even the tent platforms are still available there and there. There's a nice little picnic table over here. The privy is this way. And I walked in next to the pond, which was super nice. I'll probably walk down a little bit later. There was a spring that I passed on the way in. Ooh, another good thing about this spot, bear box. Yeah, there was a spring that I passed earlier, but I was like just on a mission to get here and my feet were hurting. So I might go back to it if I I might have enough water. There's water like 3.4 miles into my day tomorrow. Oh wow, this is super cool. Yeah, there's water 3.4 miles into my day tomorrow, and I think I've got a liter right now, which, I mean, I know all of you are going to say that's not enough water, but I don't drink enough water, so a liter should be enough for me to cook with, drink tonight, and get to the water source in the morning, perhaps. But the caretaker did say he drinks from the pond, and it's fine, so I might just honestly do that. Gonna get set up.